Hello, I'm Michael Steed and I'm here to tell you about the 2013 AAT Tax Update Series. We're running a series of events across the country between April and May. I'll give you more details on that in a second. I think a lot of you know who I am, but in case you haven't met me before, I'm a Chartered Tax Advisor, I'm an AAT member, I'm a member in practice, and I'm also this year's Vice President of the ATT, that's the Association of Taxation Technicians. So I'm very much into the technician brand, a great unreconstructed fan of what AAT members do and achieve, and I see them in all walks of life. So let's talk first about the timings of the Tax Update Series. Of course, it's no accident that it's in April and May because it follows the budget. The Chancellor will give his budget this year on the 20th of March, then we'll cogitate it over it for a few days. I'll be doing a podcast on that, and then we'll be getting the material together for the Tax Update Series. It's an opportunity for me to share information with you because although I'm very much into education, I'm also very much a hard, practical man, and I'm looking for ways for you to use this information in a very practical way. So I'm not there to theorize, I'm there to give practical information. But it also gives me an opportunity to get your feedback on how it is at the sharp end, because we'll have that kind of parallel experience. So what sort of things are we going to be talking about? What things is the Chancellor able to do? Well, I think his room for manoeuvre is actually fairly limited. The rumour mills have been talking about the things that he might be able to do. The first and obvious one is playing around with personal allowances. There's been quite a lot of press comment about personal allowances. We've had Nick Clegg on one side putting pressure on George Osborne to raise it as fast as he can to £10,000 within the life of the current Parliament. Could it be that he decides to accelerate that just a little bit faster than he had otherwise anticipated? There's also been quite a bit of rumour about recognising marriage, traditional marriage, through the medium of the tax system. A lot of pressure from the Tory backbenchers there to have some kind of rejuvenated married couples allowance. So it could be that we'll see something in that vein too. I think after the 2012 budget, which was widely acknowledged to be one of the most inept in modern times, I think the chances of seeing anything on VAT are actually pretty slim. But I think we could see something a bit more on pensions. There's been quite a lot about reducing even further the tax relief on pensions, and possibly even a tack on that sacrosanct 25% tax-free lump sum allowance. There'll be a bit on business tax, which I think will be of interest to AAT members, but the Chancellor's almost given one of his best cards away because you'll recall that the annual investment allowance in his December statement, he actually said, tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase the AIA, the annual investment allowance, by tenfold to 250,000 in the 2 calendar years, 2013, 2014. So having given that away, it's hard to see what other rabbits he's going to be able to pull out the hat. But we know Chancellors, it's in the job spec, they've got to pull a rabbit or two out of the hat. So I don't think it's going to be VAT. IHT, he said he's going to freeze the allowance much further than he said he would. Possibly something a little bit around employee benefits. He's already extended the low emission cars regime forward another couple of years from 2013 to 2015. I also expect him to do something on the sort of the Starbucks Amazon front, the sort of the big how amazing is that, seeing people paying tax voluntarily? The trouble, of course, is it's very difficult for the UK to act in isolation, but I think he might try and sort of do the populist bit, respond to the populist anger over the Starbucks and Amazon's issue and try and do something, but it's very hard to see what he can do unilaterally on that. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing, what I think the Chancellor will be talking about. As far as what we'll be doing, obviously the budget drives at least the first session in the day, so we'll be seeing how we can use that in a practical sense. But then also I'll be doing some reviews of some of the other areas, something on property, something on VAT, something on capital taxes as well. So it'll be a pretty big buffet, and as usual we'll be going at it hammer and tongs to get through it on the day. As far as the details are concerned, it's pretty straightforward. Just go onto the AAT website, that's aat.org.uk/CPD events, where you can pick up all the information. The cost is £125 for members and £260 for non-members. And if you just go onto the website, it'll just talk you all through the booking process. So I'm certainly looking forward to the budget. I'm looking forward to getting on the road afterwards and coming to talk to your good selves. So I hopefully will see you at one of the 11 events that we've got planned. Cheerio.